Hear Srimad-bhagavatam. Very important part of our spiritual life to have become eager to hear this knowledge, even if we cannot understand the language. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Chanda Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading today, continuing our reading today from the Srimad-bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 10, which is called The Battle Between the Demigods and the Demons. And we'll read several verses because only one has a little purport in this section. So we'll read from 26 to 40. The verse on the screen is number 26. The screen's on, right? The screen is on, right? Okay. Tasya san sarvato deva Nana Vaha Dvajayudaha Lokapala Sahaganer Vaivagni Varuna Dayaha Tasyasan sarvato deva Nanavahatvajayudaha Lokapala Sahaganayar Vaivagni Varuna Dayaha Tasyasan Sarvato Deva Nanavahatvajayudaha Lokapala Sahaganayar Vaivagni Varuna Dayaha Tasyasan Sarvato Deva Nanavahatvajayudaha Lokapala Sahaganayar Vaivagni Varuna Dayaha. Word for word. Tasha of Lord Indra, our son, situated. Sarvataha, all around. Devaha, all the demigods. Nanavaha, with varieties of carriers. Vyaja Ayudaha, and with flags and weapons. Flags and weapons. Lokapalaha, all the chiefs of various higher planetary systems. Saha, with. Ganai, their associates. Vayu, the demigod controlling air. Agni, the demigod controlling fire. Varuna, the demigod controlling water. Ayadaha, all of them surrounding Lord Indra. Surrounding Lord Indra, king of heaven, were the demigods seated on various types of vehicles and decorated with flags and weapons. Present among them were Vayu, Agni, Varuna, and other rulers of various planets, along with their associates. So repeat after me. Surrounding Lord Indra, king of heaven, were the demigods, seated on various types of vehicles and decorated with flags and weapons. Present among them were Vayu, Agni, Varuna, and other rulers of various planets, along with their associates. So there are many verses here together before we reach a purport. So like yesterday, I'll read through the verses. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the best friend and well-wisher of the three worlds. Thus, when the demigods had almost finished drinking the nectar, sorry, I got it in the wrong place. Okay, this is verse 27. The demigods and demons came before each other and reproached one another with words piercing to the heart. Then they drew near and began fighting face to face in pairs. Are you understanding? I don't understand.
If you read in next verse, this verse, you tell what verse right now you read.
Okay, that was 27, chapter 10.
Yesterday we read.
No, we didn't. I don't think. We read up to 26. We read up to 25 yesterday.
No, 22, 24. Okay, no problem.
Okay, so today we're doing 26 to 40 because 40 is the first one with a purport. So this is 26 we did together. 27 is the one I just read. If you want to translate, maybe we'll get more out of it, even though we all speak different languages here. But would you like to try that? Let me read the verse one more time, and if you could translate.
No, he understands.
Well, okay. So I'll just read. Well, this is 27 here. I'll read it again. The demigods and demons came before each other and reproached one another with words piercing to the heart. Then they drew near and began fighting face to face in pairs. Next verse. O king, Maharaj Bali fought with Indra, Kartikeya with Tarika, Varuna with Hati, and Mitra with Prahati. Yamaraj fought with Kalanaba. Yes. 29. This is 29. Yamaraj fought with Kalanaba, Vishvakarma with Maya Danava, Tweshta with Sambara, and the sun god with Varochana. The next is 30 and 31 together. The demigod Aparajita fought with Namuchi, and the two Ashvini Kumara brothers fought with Brishaparva. The sun god fought with 100 sons of Maharaj Bali, headed by Bana. And the moon god fought with Rahu. The demigod controlling air fought with Puloma, and Shumba and Nishumba fought the supremely powerful material energy, Durga Devi, who is called Bhadra Kali. And then next we have verses 32 to 34. O Maharaj Parikshit, the suppressor of enemies, Arindama, Lord Shiva fought with Jamba and Vibhasvara Vibhavasu fought with Mahishasura. Ilvala, along with his brother Vatapi, fought the sons of Lord Brahma. Durmarsha fought with Cupid, the demon Utkala with Matrika demigoddesses, Brihaspati with Sukracharya, and Sanayacharya Saturn with Narakasura. The Maruts fought Nivatakavacha. The Vasus fought the Kalakaya demons, and Vishvedeva demigods fought with Poloma demons, and the Rudras fought with Krodavasha demons, who were victims of anger. 35. All of the demigods and demons assembled on the battlefield with a fighting spirit and attacked one another with great strength. All of them desiring victory, they fought in pairs, hitting one another severely with sharpened arrows, swords, and lances. They severed one another's heads using weapons like bushundis, chakras, clubs, rishtis, patishas, shaktis, umukas, prasas, paravadas, nishtingshas, lances, parignas, mugdaras, and bindipalas. Huh? Still a verse. There's no verse on this one. There's no. That was verse 36. Huh? There's no purport. No, we're still reading. First purport we have will be 40. I don't know what all these specifically what these weapons are. We don't know. They're not described here. 37. The elephants, horses, chariots, charioteers, infantry soldiers, and various kinds of carriers, along with their riders, were slashed to pieces. The arms, thighs, necks, and legs of the soldiers were severed, and their flags, bows, armor, and ornaments were torn apart. 38. Because of the impact on the ground of the legs of the demons and demigods and the wheels of the chariots, particles of dust flew violently in the sky and made a dust cloud that covered all directions of outer space as far as the sun. But when the particles of dust were followed by drops of blood being sprinkled all over the space, the dust cloud could no longer float in the sky. We do have a purport here. I thought I went up to 40, so it is. Here's a purport. So Srila Prabhupada's purport on verse 38. The cloud of dust covered the entire horizon, but when drops of blood sprayed up as far as the sun, the dust cloud could no longer float in the sky. A point to be observed here is that although the blood is stated to have reached the sun, it is not said to have reached the moon. Apparently, therefore, as stated elsewhere in Srimad-bhagavatam, the sun, not the moon, is the planet nearest to the earth. We have already discussed this point in many places. The sun is first, then the moon, then Mars, Jupiter, and so on. The sun is supposed to be 93 million miles above the surface of the earth, and from the Srimad-bhagavatam we understand that the moon is 1,600,000 miles above the sun. So the moon is farther away after the sun. Therefore, the distance between the earth and the moon would be 95 million miles, not 250,000 miles. So, if a space capsule were traveling at the speed of 18,000 miles per hour, how could it reach the moon in 4 days? Good point. At that speed, going to the moon would take at least 7 months. That a space capsule on a moon excursion has reached the moon in 4 days is therefore impossible. That is verse number 38. 38. Om Jnana Timiranda Shagana Jana Shalakaya. Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. If you speak, what you're speaking into the microphone, there may be others who speak Russian, and who might be watching and might benefit from this.
Well, it's okay. Sometimes because like when New York, like a little bit confused, you do not know repeat what words, and like it was reading first 40, and then you return to 38. It's okay.
Okay, well we're on this is 38, and this is the first verse that had a purport. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada has many times in his books and letters and lectures, and personally also, has brought up this point about the distance of the moon from the earth, because it's important. In fact, Srila Prabhupada has preached many times against the cheating of the materialistic scientists. Of course, we get the benefits sometimes of different material things that are invented, like these computers and cell phones and things that we can use in Krishna service. But Srila Prabhupada doesn't really object or fight against that. Srila Prabhupada's fighting and arguments against the materialistic scientists are on 2 points. Two main points. One main point is material science says that life came about from some combination of material elements. They try to explain God. They try to explain how the universe comes about without mentioning God. They try to explain how. So material science. They try to explain that if the they try to explain that if there's by combination of material elements without any controller, somehow life came about, and life gradually developed into up to human species of life and all that. They try to say like that without giving any credit to God, and that's why Srila Prabhupada was very, you say, fiery. He fought very strongly. He made very strong arguments against this idea that everything that we see, life, that all forms of life, came about without God. And the reason he did that was because if one is taught, as we basically are encouraged to believe as we go through school, that everything came about without God, then we think, oh, there's no God. When I was in, I think I was just going into high school, or maybe it was the second year of high school. I don't remember exactly. But before that time, the beginning of the first thing in school that you did, there were two activities. One, you would say, because we're in America, so you'd say the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag, like that. And the other thing was what they call the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Like that. You would say both of those. And it was a simple thing, it took 5 minutes, but every day started like that, before the first class started. And then one year, I came to school, New Year's, the beginning of the next year, and that wasn't there. The whole, for many years, it had been like that. One year I went there, no more. I didn't know why it had changed. But after a few days, the teacher explained that during since the previous year, I guess it was during the summer, the Supreme Court of the United States, there had been a case that the conclusion of it was that you could not pray in school, you could not mention God in school. That was a conclusion, because one atheist lady and those who supported her fought for that purpose. In fact, they concluded that you can be very religious but actually not believe in any supreme person, any supreme being. Very religious, but no God. And so an atheist who is opposed to the existence of God could say, atheism is my religion. I'm very religious. I very religiously believe that there is no God. The law says like that. It seems to make no sense, but that's how the law went. And I also remember that year is the first time I started hearing about students in school using drugs, illicit sex, these kind of things going on in the so things started noticeably degrading, because if the school is saying, okay, we are not going to, we're cutting out our little 5 minutes that mentions God in the morning, what it's actually saying to the students is, oh, our teachers, our parents, our elders in society, they don't believe in God, or they don't think that God is important. So, we're students. We're learning. So we're actually being taught that God is not important, or maybe God does not exist. We don't get we or teachers don't actually think God is important. That was the message. So Srila Prabhupada fought very strongly. Um, so what year was that? I think that this had already happened before Srila Prabhupada came here. But Srila Prabhupada fought very strongly against the idea of the material scientists' idea of the idea that the whole universe has come about, all its planets, the solar systems, and everything has come about without any God, without any controller. He fought that, and he fought, as he's mentioning in his purport, um, that against the cheating of the uh, of the materialistic scientists. So Srila Prabhupada makes it very clear that no one could, there's no way that they could have traveled in 3 or 4 days in a rocket going the speed that they say that they're going. There's no way they're going to be able to go to the moon, because the moon is not 240,000 miles away. It's it's um, it's 95. Um, yeah, he says it's, well, let's see. Therefore, the distance between the Earth and the Moon would be about 95 million miles. If the Sun is 93 million miles, and it's almost 2 million miles more than the Moon beyond. So it would take months, but at that rate, to go there. And yet, we were told that scientists went there, they stepped on the Moon, they walk around the Moon, they're sending vehicles that constantly go around the Moon. We're being told these things, and other countries are also making such claims, you know. But we understand from Vedas, from Srimad-bhagavatam, that it's not possible. It's not possible.
1,600,000 miles.
Yeah, beyond the sun, beyond after the sun. So that's important. If we have that faith, not everyone, even some of the Srila Prabhupada's early disciples, I don't know now, but even some of the Srila Prabhupada's early disciples, when they were watching the moon landing, it was all shown on TV back then, and first steps on the moon, and Srila Prabhupada says no, they never went to the moon. But there were some disciples, at least one that was mentioned, who absolutely could not accept that, like that. But, Srila Prabhupada says, based on the Vedas, it's not possible. And then Rahu is before. I just read the other day. Rahu is 80,000. I think it's 80,000 miles closer to us than the sun. It's in front of the sun. But you cannot, yeah.
Sometimes rough cover.
Yeah, sometimes it goes in, that's what an eclipse is. Rahu moves around and actually comes in front of the sun, or partly in front of the sun, depending on what angle you're looking at it. So Rahu's there, but it's a dark planet. You can't see the Rahu unless it goes in front of the sun. Otherwise, it's just like an invisible planet. It's invisible because it does not reflect any light. It's dark. The Earth, on the other hand, is very visible because there's a lot of water on the Earth, and water reflects light very much. The Moon also reflects light a lot. And that's the Moon. But anyway, Rahu doesn't. So that's Srila Prabhupada's point here. And then the other other big point in Srila Prabhupada's arguments against the materialistic scientists is, where did life come from? Where does life come from? Materialistic scientists will say, Darwin's idea, somehow there was a combination of elements and some kind of very simple organic things started to develop, and over billions of years they just grew and grew and grew and expanded, and life forms started increasing more and more. All these things were happening. They say this was they make such claims, but again, it's the same point. They're claiming that life came about, and there's no mention of God, just a material. But where did those material? Even that argument, where did the material elements come from that were supposed to combine to make life? Everything has to come from somewhere. So, easy way to understand, there's God, who's eternal, who's always here, and He created. But the idea, the so-called scientific idea, is not very logical. How they say, when I studied a little in high school, studied a little biology, with one subject, 1 year. But if you look at a single cell, a one-celled animal, and you look at it closely in the microscope, there's so much going on inside that one cell. There's so much activity. And what to speak of living entities like us, who have, how many cells do we have in our body? Zillions. You can't. And to say that all this came about by accident, by things just floating around and bumping, and and gradually became very complex life. But even all that does not give any, does not explain about consciousness. You can put elements together, but where does consciousness come from? You can't produce consciousness. Consciousness means, we understand, consciousness means the soul. So consciousness is the symptom of the presence of the soul, right? But anyway, but these things are not explained, or not satisfactorily explained in the scientific world. But we also study science. We study the science of Bhakti Yoga. We're studying the science of Bhakti Yoga, and why is Bhakti Yoga a science? Just like the materialistic science, if some scientist takes some oxygen here, some hydrogen here, and puts it in a closed container, and as Srila Prabhupada says, electrocutes it, puts some electrical current going through it, then it'll produce a little bit of water, maybe a drop of water, depending on how much. And anyone who has the ability, and they follow the same procedure, and they take oxygen and hydrogen and electric current in the same conditions, then they'll get the same result. That's science. But we also have science. If one follows the process, chants Hare Krishna, chants the Hare Krishna mantra, avoids the sinful activities like that, and follows the procedure, like we worship the deities, and we do many things we do. Result will be that we will become Krishna conscious by following the process. Anyone who follows the process sincerely will become Krishna conscious. It's a science. It doesn't matter who it is. Of course, someone can say, an atheist can say, or a doubter can say that I am going to prove that your Krishna consciousness does not work. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to do everything that you're doing, and I'll show you that I will not become Krishna conscious. You can try, but right off, they're not following the process. Probably not best to eat in front of the TVs. Right off, they're not following the process because the process also requires that you have some faith. You're not chanting Hare Krishna and saying, no, there's no way it's going to work. There's no way it's going to work. I'm going to do it superficially, but I'm going to make sure that I do not accept this. It means you don't have any faith at all. You have to have some. You have to at least have some faith. In fact, the Nectar of Instruction says, Utsaha Nischaya Dharya Karma Pravartana. Utsaha, enthusiasm. Utsaha Nischaya Dharya. Confidence and patience. Yes. 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 So you have to. So you cannot be going through the activities superficially, and having your strong faith and your intention to prove that it's not going to work. You're not following the science. You're trying to disprove the science. So you will not get the results. But if someone actually chants Hare Krishna, follows the principles, has somehow or other has that faith that if I follow this, it'll work, and if they're enthusiastically following it, Srila Prabhupada says that you cannot. Srila Prabhupada says that even materially, you cannot succeed at anything if you're not enthusiastic. If you want to become a rich person, a millionaire, have a big business, you cannot get that if you are not enthusiastic. If you just sit around and wait, and okay, well, maybe next year millions of dollars will come my way. No, you got to be enthusiastic and eager and working in that direction. So utsaha, enthusiasm, you have to have confidence in the process. So that, again, this atheist who's trying to prove it, he's already not following the process because he's trying to prove that it's not true. But the science of Bhakti Yoga says you have to have confidence in the process. So he's anti-confidence, and then you have to be patient, because even if you're following very sincerely with great patience or with great confidence, it's going to take time. It takes time to become Krishna conscious. So we have to have that patience. And again, the atheist who's trying to disprove it he's saying, look, I'm already following the process. Look, I've done this for a whole week now. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. I'm saying 16 rounds a day. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to let this. He's thinking to himself, I'm going to be sure that this does not work. I'm going to prove that. So he's not following the process, the science. But if we follow the science of Krishna consciousness, then we will become Krishna conscious. That means following the process, that we're following with the right attitude, not just superficially, but with the right attitude, like that. Anyway, it's 8:30 already. So, any questions? Understand anything I said? A little bit. And then you had a good question because you were listening carefully. Any questions, comments?
You mentioned that scientists sometimes like making this, but like life, life from where life is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes scientists also mention is that like they are found, there's some tree or there's some special stone, and they said, that this like millions years ago, like exists, but the Kali Yuga only 5,000 years. How is possible that like science, like if the scientists said this ocean exists like million years ago, this lake exists like trillion years ago, but the Kali Yuga only 5,000 years ago. Like we like this lake 5,000 years.
I'm not following your question.
My question is like, if this land, the Bharat only 5,000 years ago, how is possible that like some like science mentioning this like mountain, with this 100 million years or more than 5,000 years?
Well, as far as material science, the Varsha was a very long time ago. Now we know it as India, but it's been here. It's been in existence for millions of years. We have uh, you go back to the four ages, for 4,320,000 years from the beginning of the last Satya Yuga. Right?
This planet, this planet, household right now. Like, yeah, yeah. 5,000 years or more. This planet. When we live in
I can hardly hear you.
like we live in this like Earth, yeah. They're like how many years this planet? How many years planet this planet?
How many years has this planet existed?
Yeah, yeah.
Since the beginning of the creation? Um, well, actually, we figure it out. Uh, we are
The Kali Yuga,
these lower planetary systems are actually destroyed at the end of Lord Brahma's day. So Lord Brahma's day is what? 1,000 times the four ages. I mean, it's 4,300,000 years times 1,000. So it's 4,300,000,000 years. So it means every 4,300,000,000 years, uh, the whole lower part of the universe is destroyed, which means it's created again. So the Earth may exist as an Earth. Maybe it could be 4 or 5 billion years, actually, because the higher planetary systems, they're not destroyed at the end of each day, only the end of Lord Brahma's life. So how long exactly? I don't know where we are in the cycle.
my question also, like this planet there, like we like already have Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga right now.
Yeah.
And this all kind of changes, but planet time same, yeah, like billion years, Brahma time, yeah.
Well, we're running out of time here. We would continue after the class. Because I only have till 8:30 and we're over. So let's let's end the class here because we're supposed to end at 8:30. We're over time. We can talk